mindset is? Do you know what the word mindset means?
And how well your mind is.
Yes, that's a pretty good
How
description.
your mind is trained.
That's a really,
Your mind.
yep,
Trained.
it's a really good description. Leading into this week's check-in, I'm quietly confident, based on the fact I have stuck to my macros every day this week. I don't think there's been 1 week that I've stuck to my macros, even with a Ninja Creamy.
Relax.
I'm relaxing. Oh! I'm relaxing. Oh, sorry, I'm that way.
Oh my gosh. Relax.
Okay.
Stay with me. Living for the highlights.
You're saying relax, but you're pinching me with a metal caliper. I think it was maybe 2 days in, I messaged Nathan and I was like, go figure. Stuck to my macros for 2 days and I'm down 1 kilo. And he was like, shock. It's amazing what happens when you stick to the plan. And I was like, sarcasm aside, if you stick to the plan, it works.
Dietary compliance, you think? So 100%, right?
What are you putting it at?
I'm saying 9.
Oh, he said 90%. So that's what he's going with, 90%, guys, 90%. When it comes to compliance, this week Nathan ranked me a 90% out of 100. I'm gonna go with it. That's pretty good for him.
So you've actually dropped by 2.2 mil, sticking to your macros.
This week has actually seen the biggest results in a week period, and go figure, obviously because I stuck to the plan. Oh dear. Yep, when you stick to the plan, you see the biggest results. Cool, Sophie, really good idea. I saw the biggest results this week. Oh,
It's not bad, so done well.
what'd you say?
It's not bad, so you've done well.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear it over the noise of the Renaults. What'd you say?
You've done well.
I've done well.
Yes. You've done well to
So-
improve on your nutrition from previous weeks.
If I stuck to the plan every week, imagine the results now. I guess I'm proud because this week was amazing and it reflected in the results.
When you actually stick with things, you get a positive result.
Consistency, consistency, consistency.
Are we done?
We're done. It's a wrap. I'm done. It's always easier for us to choose familiar than to create a new neural pathway. And for me, watching back that week 6 check-in, it was like something switched in my head and I was like, you dickhead. Not the best self-talk, but still I was like, Sophie, stick to the plan, it's not that hard. And I know that for myself, like, it's not a matter of me being hungry. I'm not hungry, I'm on a lot of food. It's a matter of self-sabotage. It's like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm actually making myself proud, but also aware that my daughters are watching my every move like a little sponge, and every decision I make affects them, and every action I make affects them, and they're watching on. For me, it's really important that they choose decisions based on the goals and motivators that they want to be moving toward instead of moving away from. Project U has been sold out for months. Every day I am asked when spots are opening. Spots are opening next weekend, guys, for 50 women only, and for the first time ever with weekly pricing. If you're not able to be consistent with the plan, we need to go back and reassess. We need it to be achievable and we need to stick to it 100%. And again, for those of you that are on Project U, if it doesn't look achievable, come back to me. And if you're finding that you are struggling with consistency or you're struggling to actually achieve the results that you're wanting, I would encourage you all to take a step back and potentially look at doing less. What are the 3 bare minimum that you can do? And honestly, it's going to look different for everybody. I've had some women say to me that their bare minimum is going to the bathroom and having a shower. That's their bare minimum. other women, it might be 10,000 steps. It might be 3 litres of water. Whatever that looks like for you, have that as your absolute bare minimum 3 things every single day. This week's more about the mental side of things. I rang Nathan a lot. It's almost like a Dear Diary situation where I can text him, he doesn't reply, so it's just all blue, me, messaging myself. Actually, I messaged him in the gym this morning and I was like, how am I supposed to walk into the gym today and hit these numbers? How do you do that? What do you draw upon? What is your why? And this week has been more of a mental struggle and provided me with a lot of awareness around being seen and being vulnerable, particularly online. And on those very few tiny little moments where you are sitting there going, can't do this.
Well, there is
What
times
is it?
where I just have to have the belief that I can turn this around.
And how do you do that?
I genuinely use that phrase. I can turn this around. Like that's been actually.
That's your mind. That's
Well,
your mantra.
that's been a motto this prep when I have felt that I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad session, whatever it might be, is like I either have to turn this around or I need to turn this around.
How do I keep my mindset strong? I think like any muscle, we have to actually work on it. And I think that for myself, what I have found really truly works is the things that I consume. We actually have to consciously determine and decide who we consume, who we speak to, who we have around us. And I think that it's really important that we're consciously determining who has access to us. And when it comes to mindset, it's such a pivotal part of that process because community matters. I might have woken up this morning at 1 a.m. and sat in the car struggling to walk into the gym. But I know that when I look around me, I always have a community of people who genuinely have my best interests at heart. And that for me is what gets me through on those really hard days. It's the people that you wouldn't actually see on my social media that are like the real ones, you know, like they're the ones that are in my life who help me mentally and my mindset more than you could ever imagine. And if you don't have that, please reach out because we do have a beautiful community in the bod and there's so many women that would resonate with you, who would see you and never try and tear you down. And I will always make sure of that within the bod community, that us women stick together and we try our hardest to always bring each other up. You've seen my transformation, now let's work on yours. Will you be one of the 50 lucky women? Excuse me, will you be joining me